Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and the place to be, it's Debsy. Boop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and happy Sunday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful weekend and a great day. So listen, you're gonna see this outfit for at least 3 videos, possibly 4. And that is because I am getting all of my Mormon wives videos done on a Sunday. You're seeing this on a Sunday, and I'm filming all of them on a Sunday. So you'll see, today we're going to talk about season 2, episode 8, the book of betrayal. And then tomorrow, oh, what is this? And then tomorrow, we're talking about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, episode 9, the Book of Reckoning. And then on Tuesday, we are going to be talking about, whoa, that look right there was me saying, what the hell? And then the last episode of the season 10, we're going to be talking about on Tuesday. Okay, and Tuesday, I don't remember what the last book is, but we'll find out. We'll figure it out. Okay, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about the Book of Betrayal. This is season 2, episode 8. So this is where I think, remember I said in the last video, episode 7, I was like, that felt like an ending of the season. I feel like this is where they picked it up, because this takes place 2 days, they say up front, 2 days after Friendsgiving. Let me straighten this up. That's bothering me. Okay. They pick up 2 days after Thanksgiving. Taylor's at the CMA Awards. It's a big thing. She's there with Leanne, with her mom, and she is presenting an award. So Taylor posted it out on everywhere. And she posted about it, but none of the ladies replied publicly. She was very disappointed and very confused because of like how much support everyone, including like Brett and Connor. This is water, by the way, was to her. So she was kind of confused, and she was disappointed by that. So she posted out there, hey, this is awesome. None of my girls are supporting me or saying anything or congratulating me publicly. It's crickets for mom talk. So, but meanwhile, it seems like there really was one person though that did publicly send her something, and that was Demi. She was like, I reposted the CMA's TikTok of Taylor, and then she posted it on her story. She gave like free hair. She did everybody's hair. She did their hair for free. She gave Leanne free hair. So she was like, this is crazy. I actually did say things publicly, just not on that one post. And all of the ladies are really saying that they reached out to her. Maybe not publicly, but privately they did. Well, this sent Demi like off the rails. This was heaven sent for Demi, because Demi was looking for a way to shore up support for her to be like the head of Mom Talk. She's not copying to that's what she wants. But that's exactly what she wants. She wants to be Queen Bee. This, I think she's looking at it as her path to becoming Queen Bee. So Macy and Michaela, they go over to Demi's house to hang out and just to talk about this. She gives her that garbage. She's like, do you want some hot chocolate? And then gave her that, I guess maybe it was like a healthy hot chocolate. Don't do that. If you're gonna give somebody hot chocolate, just give them hot chocolate. It don't have to be healthy. As a matter of fact, please don't make it healthy. If I ever go over anybody's house and they're like, I have hot chocolate, Would you like it? If you pour it out and it looks like that, I don't want it. Period. End of story. So they're talking, they're like, the Taylor situation is really confusing because we all had a great time at Friendsgiving. And Macy was like, I didn't publicly comment, but I was reaching out to her the whole time privately. And most of the women, she says, somebody says that most of the women were like busy when Taylor posted it. I can understand that because it's like, it was probably around Thanksgiving, and most of the times people will be doing things with family, either having people in for Thanksgiving or traveling for Thanksgiving. There's a lot going on. And I kind of agree. I can see where Michaela's coming from. And I kind of agree because I agree to a point. I do agree. Because Michaela said it's kind of weird or odd that you're like just paying so much attention to like social media and just watching it to see like who's congratulating you. I think it's crazy when someone gets past a certain age to see like, oh, who liked this? Who gave me a like on social media? Who reposted? Hey, who gave me a comment? I'm now 57. I'm 57 years old. I don't care about social media like that. However, social media is like king and paramount and like so important to these women because that's how they make a living. But I can see where Michaela is coming from, and I agree with her actually to a point. And to me is like this, she's gonna hammer this out there. She's like, this now makes Taylor a loose cannon and a liability to Mom Talk. She's gonna keep pushing this. Like, we can't trust her. She's a loose cannon. She's gonna affect our business, the business of Mom Talk. But listen, that's the same woman that just in last episode was like, I love you, Taylor, and I want to support you, and I'm there for you. And now she's talking like this, which was why I was saying in the last video, to me is fake. Taylor calls her out in the later episodes for being fake, and she's fake because she's fakety fake. And to me also says that, everything that's bad in Taylor's life is because of her. And she's tired of being villainized for bringing drama into Taylor's life. Here's the thing. I can guarantee you Taylor would be like, for a majority of things, she would be like, I brought this on myself. And she's still beating herself up for that swinging scandal. But I don't see where Taylor is making Demi into the villain for bringing stuff into her life. The only thing that she does say is coming up later. The one thing that I do agree with is that I don't think it's right that Taylor put that out there, that they're not good friends and they didn't post anything. And then all of her fans, because she does have a huge following on TikTok, a lot of her fans then take it upon themselves to then go and participate in online harassment of the ladies. I don't think that is ever good, whether it be online, especially if they take it into real life. I think that's terrible. What do I have here? And also, what kind of bothered me the most at this point is that what really matters to Taylor is more how the optics look rather than the private support. Like, I would rather have someone who genuine giving me private support rather than like some fakety fakes out there just pumping me up in public. I would rather that. And I think Michaela says something like that later. This timing is not so great because Jesse and Macy have a joint Sinners and Saints party for both of their businesses, for Jay-Z Style and Baby Mama. Okay, that's right. I got ahead of myself. Okay, so Taylor's at her house. Taylor's at her parents' house. Dakota picks up Ever, and there is this ultimatum. Remember, like, let's commit or let's break up. So she's talking with Leanne, and they're talking about Leanne's like, let's talk about your so-called friends. Even Leanne thought it was odd too. No. I'm sorry. Taylor thought it was odd that no one said anything because this is what we do. That's why she was like, she thought it was odd because this is what we do. These women are on social media all the time. So how is it that they couldn't see? That I understand. If you were to be like, it's odd, rather than like going so hard of like, they're not friends. Taylor admits that, but she admits, like, she's like, listen, I didn't handle it the way I should have. I was being petty, and she should really think before she posts on that. Also, she should think about like, what's going to be the fallout of this, because she has so many people that follow her on TikTok, on her platforms, that there's going to be some reverberations and some fallout from that might not be great. I made another note. Demi doesn't like Taylor's fans coming for her, but then when you go on TikTok and you look and you see some of the comments and you go deeper down in the comments, you'll see Demi like stoking the fire with her fans to go out and kind of do the same thing. And Leanne was like, well, look, hey, you put that out there. You put this post out there, and now Demi sees this as a weak point. She's trying to get in there as leader. She sees this as a weak point that she can capitalize on. I also am going to say this. I never thought that I would say the Taylor's family is supporting her, and I like them, but in this moment, they're supporting her. Because she's like, I'm not sure, she's wondering if she's even really sure that she deserves good things, because she's still going back to her cheating scandal or her swinging scandal. And her dad's like, we're over it. You have to get over this because your family's over it. We're over it. We promise you that. And you do deserve good things. You put in the work. You started Mom Talk. You do deserve good things. So the thing is, now that I'm looking at it, I'm seeing maybe the lady's not publicly commenting on it, to her confirms in her mind that she really doesn't deserve anything good. You know, that to me sounds like that's the case for her. So Macy and Michaela picked Taylor up, and they talk this out. They talk about this. Taylor is like, listen, I'm gonna apologize. I will apologize for what happened afterwards, because what happened afterwards should never have happened. However, I'm not going to apologize posting it because that's how I felt in the moment. Michaela thinks that it was unfair that she posted that. Like, she should have really thought a little bit before she posted it. It was unfair because they privately were supporting her, and they always like publicly put things out there. So there's one time that they don't reply to a public post, and now everyone thinks that they're terrible friends and they're coming for them. And then Michaela asks the question, which is more important, public or private support? Taylor says both, but I agree with Michaela. Listen, I would rather have real friends privately supporting me than a bunch of fake friends publicly showing it, you know? Because those fake friends are gonna fade, and so is their support. But genuine friends, their genuine support will always be there. This really, they're saying this didn't really, both Macy and Michaela are saying this didn't hurt them, but it just came out, it confused them. It came out of left field. So Taylor's like, okay, so maybe next time just give you a heads up before I post. And Michaela's like, no, don't post. Just don't post it. Yeah, just don't post it. Once again, Taylor says she's just not sorry because those were her feelings. But she does feel badly about how it's affecting the ladies. And she's saying that maybe at Friendsgiving that she may apologize. Okay, so Macy and Jacob, this was so sweet. Macy and Jacob, they fly out to San Diego. Little known, they don't tell anybody this, but they're actually doing frozen embryo transfer. They're doing IVF under the radar. They're not telling anybody. Okay, so Taylor and Layla, they fly out to New York City for a brand deal. You know that this pisses Demi off. So after talking to Michaela and Macy, Taylor's like, she felt bad. So she sent out an apology, in group text, and says how she put this message out. It was petty and I handled it the wrong way. That then sent Demi into like, I got to send out, like a novel longer than War and Peace of responses. Layla admits there's some things that Demi's right about, but she's just not okay with the level that Layla is taking this to. I think that's how a lot of the women feel. Like, they agree with some of the things she says, but she took this too far. And speaking of Demi, she texted Layla and had asked questions like, how much are you making on the brand deal? If I was her, I would have said none ya damn business. She's asking because she's number one, jealous, and number two, she's power hungry. And she thinks that she was the fan favorite of the first season, and she deserves all the brand deals. She deserves all the money. So they're talking, Layla says, well, Taylor's like, it's gonna be tough at Friendsgiving, but I hope you'll have my back. She's like, yep, I will, girl. I'll stand up for you. I'm gonna stand up for you against Demi at Sinners and Saints party. Okay, I'll believe that when I see that. And then after that, Demi's like, text that there's gonna be an atomic bomb coming for Taylor. Taylor's not scared. Okay, so, good news, because 8 days after they had the post-transfer for Macy, we find out that she is pregnant. We find out that she's pregnant, and she's gonna really try her hardest not to tell anyone until she's out of the woods. I think it's like, what, 3 months, or she wants to wait until she's out of the woods. Okay, so on the private jet from New York City to Utah, Layla admits that she was closer to Demi and Jesse, so she would take in what they said about Taylor, and she would let that shape how she saw Taylor, or how she thought of Taylor. But she now sees that Demi is like pushing this narrative, and she just expects everyone around her to feel about Taylor how she feels about Taylor, because she did the same thing with Whitney. She did the same thing with Jen. She's doing it with Taylor. So, and listen, Layla was really sucked into Demi's negative mindset, and thinks that it's just BS that they have to choose between Demi and Taylor. So then So then Layla does something that I don't think Layla came up with this idea on her own. I think this was an idea from the producers. She said that she's in a group chat with Demi, Jesse, Macy, and Michaela. And she's like, I want to show you this so you know what you're walking into at this Saints and Sinners party. So people, of course, are talking behind her back. Listen, everybody talking behind her back, that's against mom talk. So they're all talking shit about her. Demi calls her dumber than a rock. Jesse calls her batshit crazy and unwell in every sense of the word. I don't like that. I like even worse than Demi calling her dumber than a rock, because I don't think there's anything funny in somebody having mental health issues. And I mean, if I was somebody that was in that chat, like Michaela is going to see a therapist, I would have said something. I thought that was shitty. And then listen, so Taylor is like, well, there's more that I know about Demi that Jesse doesn't know. So we're going to find out what that is. So, okay, Demi and Whitney, they meet at Jay-Z Hair. Demi comes in, she's like, oh, I am so tired. I'm exhausted. Girl, you're exhausted because you overreact to everything. You're working overtime to be the queen bee. Whitney thinks Demi went overboard in her reaction, but she can understand because of how Taylor came so hard for women who weren't saying anything publicly, but were saying things privately, supporting her privately. My question is, how can Whitney be friends with someone like Demi when she sees that Demi sent a cease and desist letter? Remember, Zach told her she sent a cease and desist letter to us. So she sent a cease and desist letter to Jen, her friend, and she knows that Jen is pregnant, and she knows that Jen mentally is not well. So you can be friends with that? You can be friends with that. No. The reason why she can be friends with her is the thing that really is eating Whitney up is getting back into mom talk. That's her main objective. It's not to be friends to someone, it's her getting back into mom talk. Demi, and listen, in this scene, Demi befriending Whitney is given more like political campaigning vibes than friendship vibes. That's what that's doing for me. She's campaigning for Whitney to support her for, leader of mom talk. Okay, so at the Saints and Sinners party, I'm going to tell you, I love that these two female-owned small businesses are out there empowering each other and supporting each other. That's what mom talk is all about. I love that. So everybody shows up in their scrawny little wings, especially Whitney. And then here comes Taylor. Listen, Taylor Frankie Paul shows up to show out. She comes in with these 20-foot white wings. Don't be jealous to me, because I know you're jealous. She's, like I said, Taylor shows up and shows out. She shows up. If you're gonna show up in costume, That's how you show up. She also has Dakota with her because Dakota is like, hey, listen, I thought it was shitty that they didn't say anything publicly, so I'm going to be there for her and I'm going to have her back. And then Taylor's like, I'm tired, but I'm here. I'm tired, but I'm here because I show up for my friends, unlike some people. And then they cut to Whitney. Whitney's like, oh. Then Demi, of course, has to jump straight in. And she's like, wait, where's the rest of my notes? And she's like, everyone's fed up. Everyone's fed up with you. No, you're fed up. No, everybody else is kind of like, it was shitty, but then they kind of got over it. She's the one who's really fed up. She's, like I said, I feel like most of the women are over it. So Demi's trying to just like reignite this fire. And Demi says, she says something like, I know how she is behind closed doors and you're done. Girl. I put my money on Frankie Taylor. I put my money on Taylor Frankie all the time. So they all go in the back room. Taylor's apologizing. She's like, I'm apologizing to everyone except for you, Demi, because you've been a bully. You're just a bully. And Jessie does make some good points though when she asks Taylor, like, how could you not see down the road what would happen after you put this post out? I mean, because you have such a huge platform, you have so many followers. Number one, you should have seen what would happen. And number two, you should have just come to us like privately and been like, why didn't anybody comment publicly? I agree on both parts. So they're coming at Taylor. And remember, Layla was like, I'm going to have your back. Taylor was like, where is Layla? I thought she was going to have my back. She ain't saying nothing because remember, at one point, Layla's like, Demi scares me. I don't know why Demi would scare her. So Taylor, they get into it, Taylor and Demi, and she's like, Taylor's like, you're fake. You're fake, Demi. And she says, what's fake about me? What is fake? And then she's like, oh, well, do you want me, okay. Do you want me to say something? And then she squares up to Jessie and is like, do we have a motorcycle guy in our, at the end of this, I'm going to have to see if we have a motorcycle guy. Okay, I'm back, guys. I thought we had this, I'll tell you a story later. But I thought there was this young guy who likes to come onto part of our property and rev his motorcycle. No, it's not anybody I would be interested in because it's a young man who's a dickhead. Anyways, okay, let's get back into it. So Taylor's apologizing, everybody except to me. She's like, because you are a bully. Okay, so we went through all that. She's like, Demi, you're fake. She's like, why am I fake? She's like, well, squares off to Jessie. She's like, why are you telling her? She's like, because this has to do with her. Listen, Demi told me not to go to Jay-Z Hair because they're not good. She's not good at hair. So now and Demi also said, I got to go to her because I'm stuck in a thing with them. So Demi's coming in and saying, Demi then says, I didn't say that. I did not say that. She said, I just said to them, I don't know how they are with color. Taylor then asks if, well, did you like it when they did your hair? And rather than being like, I did like how they did my hair, I was satisfied. She says, I can't remember. What does that mean? Come on. What does that mean? Okay, there's gonna be a lot of jump cuts in this video. There's a lot that's going on. I'm not gonna get into it. Okay, so where did we leave off? Okay, yes. So she was like, hey, by the way, when you went to get your hair done at Jay-Z Styles, how did you like it? She's like, I can't remember. That means you didn't like it. Like if I were to say to somebody, oh, did you like that movie you watched the other night? If there's like a hesitation and then they go, it was okay. No, that means you didn't like it. So the fact that she didn't just come out and say, they did a good job. I liked it. I was pleased. I was satisfied. That means she didn't like it. Now remember, this is the second time she's done this to her bestie. The second time. Because the first time, she tried to get her thrown off the show so that Demi herself could get a bigger contract. And Jessie sees this. Jessie sees all this, and she's hurt by it, which she should have. So this is the point now when Demi comes back, and she doesn't just come back for like something small. She comes back and she brings up, well, I don't think it's right how you treat Dakota. And she brings up the past legal issues and how it affects the kids. As it turns out, Dakota talks, like, I don't understand why Dakota talks to Demi behind the scenes. What's the deal with that? So she's like, Demi's like, let's talk. Well, let's talk to Dakota. Let's bring Dakota. But Taylor's like, do it. Taylor's like Alan Jackson. Do it. Bring him in here. Let's talk about it. Yeah. And she says, no, I would never want to do that to you ever. And that's when people are like, I can't believe she went there and brought the child into it. That's a low. That's a new low. So everybody kind of like breaks off, and Taylor's like, Jessie, I want to talk to you. Listen. Jessie says to Taylor, she feels betrayed by Demi. And Taylor's like, if I were you, I'd be careful. I would be careful with Demi. She's gonna end up fucking you over. So I'd be careful of her. So listen, in the comments, let me know what you thought. I'm going to be filming 2 more videos. We are going to get to the bottom of what happens, because on July 1st, they have the reunion with, I don't understand why Nick Viall, but they have a reunion with Nick Viall of the Viall Files. So tell me in the comments what you thought. If nobody told you yet today you were loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there so that it comes right back at you. Treat everybody the way you would want to be treated. And remember, kindness is free. It costs nothing, and it will always come back to you. Also, be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water. And also, if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and all the positive energy and vibes that you need to make it through. Love you guys, and I will see you maybe later, but definitely tomorrow. Okay. Bye, guys. See you later. Bye.